Brady joining us. Answer questions y'all have for him. Just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for Coach. With that said, if someone wants to start us off with the first question, the floor is open.
It's always a good start.
Anybody have a question for Coach Brady?
Happy New Year. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'll jump on and ask something. David here, and Happy New Year to you, by the way, too. Just we asked Phil about, what he came into the season envisioning his defense to be and what he would like to see it moving forward. And I'm kind of same thing for you. What did you envision it being going in this season, and what do you envision it moving forward? And playing off that, I want to also mention that last week when you guys were at 35 rushes, is that anything that you ever envisioned, that kind of offense?
Well, that was, our key to victory last week was 35 runs. And so that was, Coach Rule talks about all the time. We have to there's a way to win every football game, and we got to find that and find ways to control it. And last week was trying to run the football. And we knew that, they had they were great up front, great defensive line. But in order for us to win the game, we were going to have to not only just establish run, but we had to show the ability to, stick with the run and go with it. And the way our defense was playing in that game as well, it made it easier, obviously, to continue to go with it. So, but no, going into the year, like this was the year where it was really hard to visualize and put a vision to everything, just because you're coming into a training camp for the first time. So we talked early in the off season about in training camp about trying to be intentional about your reps and seeing what your guys can do. But, it was the vision that you had, you had to wait until you can get hands on with the guys and see exactly, how your pieces can kind of work and work together. And, we've had some injuries, but that's football. That's, at the end of the year, everybody's kind of beat up at this point of the year, and there's always injuries. And so, I'm excited, I'm excited about Sunday, and the off season will take care of itself, but, I do think that there's progress that we've been making, and, I'm excited about the future here.
Let's go to Mike Solarte, followed by Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Joe, Happy New Year to you in advance. The way that you guys did play last week, how much of a blueprint is that for you this week, without obviously giving away the game plan, but how much of a blueprint is that for you this week against a New Orleans team that has the potential to be an offense that, likes to just kind of have their way with defenses?
Yeah, no, I think as you guys know, I'm always one that doesn't say a lot when it comes to plans and ideas, but I think it's important, like I said, establishing, we have keys to victory and establishing, what it's going to take to win, and whether it is running the ball 35 times or throwing it 45 times, we have an idea in our mind of, what it's going to take. And, if we're going to have to run the football, we're willing, and we're going to be confident in that. And so, we can't really control and handle, I know you guys just were with Coach Snow, and can't really handle or control what's happening on that side of the football. They're going to be ready to go, and all we can control is, us being able to establish the football, be able to move and score touchdowns in the red zone. And so that's our focus.
And just a quick follow-up. Now that you're 15 games in and you've worked closely with Teddy and you've had some history with him in the past, has he been more of his own biggest critic than even you envisioned? Because it seems like, he's frustrated with the way that he's had opportunities to finish games and has really, jumped on the sword for the offense when it didn't happen. Has he been everything that you thought he would be? And maybe even, did you learn some more about him that you may not have known before?
Yeah, he's a competitor, and I think that's our locker room. I think we have a group of men, offensively and defensively, and teams that, when things don't go well, everybody's kind of pointing the thumb, and that's how Teddy is. And we understand at the quarterback, just like myself as offensive coordinator, when the offense doesn't do well, it's a reflection of me. And when from a quarterback, you sit there, and no matter how the games goes, your quarterbacks are judged on that. And so Teddy's a competitor, and he's always going to be a critic of himself. That's how he's always been, and so. But that's why, he's able to be successful.
Hey, Joe, Happy New Year. Understanding that you're focused on New Orleans and you take it, focus on that game, how do you evaluate yourself as a play caller, or maybe how in the off season will you do that, just in case we don't get you? Like, what do you do to look at what you could have done differently? Is it certain situations? Is it a game as a whole? Like, how do you?
Yeah,
go through that?
I think a lot of that is all going to be, at the end of the season, I'm going to kind of go back and we're going to evaluate literally everything. We're going to, evaluate your players, your scheme, your identity, and go from there. So, I can't really, pinpoint something to give you an answer right now, but there's going to be that's what I think we have to do. Is I said when I first took this job that, offenses are always evolving and your system has to always evolve. And, so it's going to be a deep dive into what we do well, what's going on in the NFL, what teams are having success, what defenses are doing differently, and finding ways to attack that. And so I'm, obviously I'm not looking ahead about the Saints, but I know that'll be a critical element this offseason.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander for the next question, followed by Joe Person.
Hey, Joe, Happy New Year. Wondering if I could get your perspective from the offensive side. I'm wondering, do you see any players who are used similarly as Jeremy Chin is used for the defense here? And also, why are guys like him difficult to game plan around, or why do they disrupt offenses?
It's hard for me to, to think of that right off the top of my head, but Jeremy's he's versatile, he's unique, he's dynamic. When you got a guy that can play in the box as a linebacker, can cover guys as a DB, makes plays on the ball, he can blitz. You're fortunate to have there's not a lot of guys like Jeremy, and that's why Coach Snow and them are able to utilize him in many different ways, and that's why he's a rookie of the year. And so I'm glad that he's on our side, and it's not a guy that we're having a game plan for sure. And when you watch that, I think the big thing about Jeremy, is how smart he is. And so I think a lot of times people just see how dynamic a football player is, and they don't realize, well, if he's doing so much and he's versatile, well, they don't realize how, in order to do that, you have to be an extremely smart football player and be able to adjust and be able to move around and play in the box and blitz and cover. And so, it just shows the type of player he's going to be. And as a rookie, man, the sky's the limit for him.
Joe, Dave Tepper last week said that evaluating the quarterback position is going to be kind of a constant in this program. What will your role be in that process? Again, in the offseason, I'm not sure exactly how everything's going to go, but in my vision is we're going to evaluate every position, coaches included. That's just what we do. We have to evaluate ourselves and see the direction that we want this offense to go. And so every player, every coach, we're all going to be evaluated and continue to go from there. But to pinpoint and say exactly this is going to be I'm sure those will be conversations as we go into the offseason. And at that quarterback position, what is would you like to see more from there than maybe you saw this year?
Again, I think that's something that's probably that's a question more for the offseason. Right now, I just want us to focus on what we do well right now and find ways to beat the New Orleans Saints. And when the offseason comes around, we'll handle and we'll address those things. But right now, we're getting the quarterback room ready to go for this week and finding a way to go 1-0 in the football season.
To David Newton, followed by Vincent Richardson.
Hey, Joe, last year you were this time, I guess, preparing for the playoffs, the LSU and everything. They're kicking off again tomorrow. Can you just talk about, I'm sure you've watched some college football. If you can talk about some of the quarterbacks you've seen out there that'll be on display here for the next few weeks and what you liked about them?
I'd be lying to you if I said I was able to watch any college football, really, to be honest with you, outside of maybe coming back from a game, from meetings on a Saturday night. You might lay down before you doze off or whatnot. But if for me to give an evaluation, even if I had watched it, it'd be injustice to any of the football players out there. So, I'm sure there'll be some good games, coming up to end this bowl season. But for me to be able to speak on it, I'd be lying to you.
Hey, Joe. The injuries on the offensive line have kind of built up a little bit as the season sort of got towards the end. I mean, how much does that affect what you try and do schematically, or do you just try to run the same stuff and trust that the guys can step up and do what they're asked to do? Yeah,
I think you have to, you have to find out what your guys do well up front offensively, and You know, we're going to do our best to put them in positions to have success. But at the end of the day, they're professional football players, and you know, they get paid, and they're really good at what they do. And so, you know, we have full confidence in them. And then when whoever's in there, we know that, you know, we know what their strengths are, and we're going to try to tailor it around them. And you know, as a play caller, I have to have confidence that they're going to be able to go in and do their job. And so, you know, you look throughout the season, we've had offensive linemen go down, you know, in games, you know, during the week, practice week, and you know, the guys haven't blinked, and if the guys aren't going to blink, I can't blink. And so, you know, that's the approach and the mindset that we have. And so I've been excited about the guys just stepping up and having that mentality. I think Coach Meyer and Coach Satterfield have done a great job preparing them, and it makes my life a lot easier.
All right, guys, looks like that's going to do it. Joe, we appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thanks, guys. I know I don't know what the media schedule is after the season. I know I'm not one that always answers a lot of questions. I see the faces sometimes when you guys ask questions, but I know it's been tough for you guys. It's been tough for everybody in 2020. But you know, I know especially when such, you know, you want that person, you want that relationship, you know, doing everything through the screen. But I just want to let you guys know we appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have a happy New Year.
We appreciate you too. But by the way, who do you have for the national championship? You got to have a team.
I'd be lying if I probably knew if you told me right now who are the four, I'd be lying. But no,
Really?
I'm sure they're gonna be. No, I'm lying with that. But no, it'll be some good games. I probably won't be able to watch any of them, but it'll be some good ones.
right.
So I appreciate you guys. Have a happy New Year.